Hello! It's here, I read it, it's so cool, it's here. Oh, Morning Star by Pierce Brown. Some of you may not know my obsession with the Red Rising trilogy. Those people would be wrong. I got this from Hodescape, by the way, because of their Twitter thing, so thank you, Hodescape. Kinda feel like I should use it to carry the heads of my enemies, not an eggplant. Which is what I put in it yesterday. By the way, isn't it pretty? Doesn't that look lovely? I mean, I'm not really one for, like, the cover of books, but that's great. And again, I'm not really one for making a series of books look good on the bookshelf. Generally, I'm not into that. Unfortunately, I've got the paperback of Red Rising. Oh, it's still pretty, but not the same size. And I lost the dust cover for Golden Sun. Even though that's rather nice, that looks really good. That looks amazing. I can't really justify buying the hardcover of Red Rising just to make this look pretty. So it's going to have to be that. I don't mind too much, really. So, Morning Star. Where to start? I'm going to do a very short, non-spoilery review, and then I'm going to tell you when the spoilers are going to start, because I need to talk about the spoilers. I need to. And if you've read the book, carry on going. If you haven't read the book, I mean, you can watch the review, but I'd say no. Read the book first. So no spoilers to start with. Morning Star, love this book. So briefly, the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown started with Red Rising. During Red Rising, Darrow, a miner from Mars, finds out that he has been kept under the ground, mining for valuable resources under a false pretext. He thought he was a pioneer making Mars habitable, but actually Mars has been habitable for hundreds of years, and there's a society above him which is flourished and grown. The solar system itself is colonised. What's more, there is a hierarchical society which places Darrow and the rest of the Reds at the very bottom. They are slave labourers. Everyone else in the society is given a colour, and some of the colours are almost their own particular race. You can't breed between colours, you have to stay within your colour. Greens are scientists and medics, oranges are engineers, and it's all ruled by the golds, and the golds are living gods. They're bigger and stronger, their bodies are more powerful than other humans, they're intellectually advanced, however, they are living on the top of this pyramid of slave labour, and Darrow finds this out, and after a very, very tragic event, he decides to do something about this. After months and months and months of surgery, he emerges as a gold, completely transformed in body and mind, ready to take down the society. Golden Sun, the follow-up to Red Rising, followed Darrow as he began his revolution, as it were. Still hiding as a gold, he establishes a civil war within the society. Science fiction-wise, has some of the most amazing sci-fi battles and ideas that I've ever read. Now, if you haven't read it, it's a little bit, but at one point they invade Mars. The description of it is amazing, and there's like a space battle going on, and then there's people falling down through the sky. The golds travel down in like highly armoured suits, and they just plough into the planet. It's amazing. The plot elements in it are fantastic, but also just the description, the world building is amazing. And you get this idea of the scope and scale of this planetary war, which so well crafted, so well written, so imaginative. Love this book. Morning Star is the follow-up and the end of this trilogy. I found that the plot was great, but it kind of took a back seat in a way to the characterization and the emotions. Darrow, to me, has always had a kind of motivation which I haven't believed in, and in this book, his motivation really does turn on its head, and it becomes more realistic, more believable. I got a much better sense of him as a character, but I also got a much better sense of everyone else. Pierce Brown writes in the epilogue that he had to think more about the other characters, and it's more of an ensemble piece, and I think that's really true, because in the previous books, characters have been very different and individual, but a lot of them have been very two-dimensional. Whereas in this book, so many more characters are fleshed out and made really two-dimensional. They're given emotions and feelings and motivations, and they feel real. The plot is great, of course, and it's very intricate, it's full of twists and turns. It's very clever how you never know what Darrow is doing, despite the fact that you're seeing everything through his eyes. He hides things from you as the reader, which is very clever. But overall, there's just so much growth, and whereas Red Rising initiated these ideas, setting out the rules so that Pierce Brown could then follow up with, right, let's this up, really. Golden Sun built on that by focusing in on the revolution, the rebellion, and just the sci-fi elements of it. Fully, like, epic, grandiose scale. And then Morning Star came along just to round everything up, to complete the cycle, to take everything that he had done and just bring it to a point really, really well. I could go on for days about how much I love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. There are a few problems I had with it, which I've talked about in my Goodreads review, but mostly they paled in comparison. No matter how glaring those problems were, they weren't enough to take away the 5th star. If you haven't read it, please stop watching. You can if you want, carry on, but please stop, because I'm going to be giving away some spoilers now. If you haven't read the book, I'm not talking to you. You're eavesdropping on this conversation, and you shouldn't be. You should be out reading Morningstar. Okay, that's warning enough. Okay, spoilers. Me was this a great book. For some reason, my spoilers are now R-rated. So, the way it starts, it's really clever how Darrow finds out about what's happened while he's been in captivity, because it's a way of you as the reader finding out what's happened. Huge bits of time where loads of things have happened is very, very hard, because it's an information dump. But it's done really well because people are very gently breaking it to Darrow. Oh, this kind of happened, this kind of happened, this kind of happened, sorry about that. So you as the reader get all that information, but you also get Darrow's reaction to it. Very clever, very, very good. What a thing of going, right, okay, we're gonna go get all the obsidians from the South Pole. Like, brilliant idea, really well done. And it also, that kind of felt a bit more like the first book, because it was more primal. You were taking away all this technology and they were back to just their wits. Ragnar! Why, Pierce Brown, must you kill all the really big, powerful people in this series? Like, Pax first, Pax! Why Pax, you bastard? And then Ragnar. He was one of my favourite characters because he grew so much and you could see the cogs going, you could see him learning. It's a bit like Detritus the Troll in Discworld. I didn't hate Aja before. She was kind of an evil villain person, but I didn't really hate her. It was still just, she's doing her job. Whereas now I was like, this bitch must die. And it made the ending so much better because you knew what she was capable of. You knew the danger. Darrow, though, does some really fucked up things, okay? Towards the middle of the book, destroying the spaceport, I thought was a really shitty choice. I don't agree with that at all, because that's very callous. One thing that really annoyed me was the fact that Darrow didn't seem to really care about all the lives he was ending. The revolution has to go forward, he can save everyone else, he can save all the Reds on Mars, but he needs to sacrifice all of the Reds on Jupiter and everyone in the spaceport, and I thought that was really callous. It's the kind of thing he would have done in Golden Sun, but he'd come so far in Morningstar, and people were meaning more to him that I couldn't believe he'd do that. That really annoyed me. So that bit of the book, well written, but still I think he should have shown a bit more remorse. I've got to talk about the ending. So the whole thing with Severo, I initially was like, no, what the and I hated Cassius, and I put the book down and I was just walking around my bedroom being like, what a bastard, what a bastard. And then I realised it was probably fake. Because if something bad happens to Darrow, he spends the entire time then going, oh no, I did this wrong, I should have done it better, and like thinking about it. Whereas he didn't think about it so much, he didn't get so much of his internal monologue, and I was like, well, in that case he knows about it. So then I was waiting for Severo to come back, and I knew there must be some plan involved. That was good, because both sides of it were believable. If Severo had died and you believed it, and then he came back, you'd be like, oh my god! And if Severo had died but you didn't believe it, you could see the other side. You could go, well, I know why it's happening. So it was really well written. But then the last chapter and the epilogue was kind of a bit cliched a bit. Not in necessarily a bad way. I think it would have been really hard to make that ending perfect because, he couldn't write exactly what was going to happen, how they changed everything. It was going to be a slow process, but eventually all the Reds are going to be freed. It still just felt a little bit anticlimactic, maybe. I can see why, and I think it would be really hard to get that perfect. Like, the ending, I'd say, was 8 out of 10. It was just missing something, and I don't know what. If you forget that and just think of the whole book as this conclusion, then bloody hell. I swore a lot in that spoilery bit. I'm sorry, I'll beat that out. Pick up Morningstar, read the whole series, read Morningstar, because it's a fantastic book, and I can't wait for Pierce Brown's next venture, whatever he decides to do. Overall, the series is kind of faultless. Like, each book has little problems I have, but the series is great. If you haven't read the book, go out, read Red Rising, read Golden Sun, read this book. It's absolutely amazing. The series as a whole is so well crafted. I could gush for hours about this. This is probably going to be quite a long video as it is, and I'm sorry for swearing so much. If you've read it and you want to talk about it, please comment or message. If you're making a video, let me know, because I'd really like to watch other people's videos about this. If there's anything you want to add, leave it in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.